No boom.
No boom this time around. Third episode of the One Man Show. We're joined here today with Dawn.
Hi.
Dawn is a pet nurse.
No, she's a nurse at a pet clinic.
So she's a pet nurse.
Is it like that?
I guess.
A vet nurse?
I guess, yes.
A pet nurse.
Pet. Well, I mean, we do take care of pets, but
A petting nurse.
that's quite different. That's quite different, I must say. Not sure anybody would pay for this petting nurse, but
Now before we go into talking to you, I just want to point out one thing. Ridhwan, can you please show the camera the t-shirt that you're wearing? Yeah, dude,
It
you have,
says authentic champions only.
which is a lie because you're no longer a champ after what your last opponent did to you.
At least I was champion before, something you will never be.
I'm a champion of life. Okay, I
That's
am
what all failures say. Those who
wow, low blow. Not.
between these
Yes,
two.
you are, Dawn. So Dawn, how long have you been vet nurse?
Yes. Actually, I just passed my 1 year mark. Like 1 year in
Congrats.
October, I think.
of October? So how does someone go around
yeah,
one?
how do you suddenly decide to wanna be? I mean, like if you wanna do a normal nursing degree, you go and normal nursing you go to like Nanyang Poly, Iman. Then you where do you go to study first?
I think I actually took a very, very, very long route here. So, the usual way of doing it, I think you go to like not all, but I think 2 of the polys, NYP.
Oh, they have it there.
They have vet tech, so the
Okay.
veterinary technician. So I think you do something similar. We don't, unfortunately, Singapore doesn't have like a certified nursing degree for vet nurses. But yeah, the usual route, I think you go to poly, then you do your vet tech degree, then you come out, you do a lot of internships in the vet clinics. But my route was quite roundabout actually. So I was in biomedical engineering in uni. And then I worked for 2 years as a research assistant. Then I went to do a master's in wildlife health. And then I came back to start.
Wow.
vet.
Seems like a lot of studying.
Hang on. So you went to uni to learn
Biomedical engineering.
and then you went on to do 2
I
years
worked for
as
2
a
years.
researcher.
Yeah.
And then why did you suddenly want to go into animals?
I always wanted to be working with animals, to be honest. So after JC, I applied, but didn't do too well. So couldn't really get into the course, and it was very expensive because if you want to be a vet, like a vet doctor, you got to go overseas. There's no there's no opportunities in Singapore lah. So then I was like, maybe I just try to stay in Singapore. So I did the engineering degree. And then I saw the masters. The masters was a very new program, and then I was like, just apply lah. Then apply, get in, then go and study lor. Then I just came back and then started doing the vet nurse.
So are you eventually going to become a vet?
I don't after working in this industry, I don't
He
think I
has
got the guts
regrets.
to be. I don't have the guts to be a vet. So, but I'm still very far from where I want to be. I think. I still want to work more with the conservation side. So maybe go back to research like veterinary science. They have this comparative medicine. So seeing how animal medicine, human medicine, you can like sort of come together as one. They call it One Health, so to speak.
One health for animals.
And humans. So it's like one, like animals plus humans into one big
Right.
category.
You already have a successful specimen here.
Thank
Quite
you.
smart.
Thank you very much. I am a perfect evolution of ape. As you can see, some of us have not finished developing, like this guy right here, who still looks like an ape. Unfortunately.
Also for you, you're at the top of the hierarchy,
Yes,
right?
I'm
Okay,
alpha,
okay.
and then he's like delta.
No.
Still a long way. Maybe Ivan will eventually grow up to be alpha, but you do
Fair enough.
with that nose.
Oh no,
Yeah.
the nose comes back. You know
Yeah.
what's that? The monkey, the Boskis monkey with the huge.
I just call you a monkey, bro.
The way you said it.
At least I don't have a butt face.
Oh,
Okay.
well.
Butt
I
face,
can't-
but still alpha.
Well, I don't mind not being alpha then.
Fine. Don, how you said that you've always wanted to be involved with animals. not romantically, but
I hope not petting nurse kind. So
how do you know that you wanted to be with animals? I mean, you wanted to
Work with
Wow,
animals.
work with animals.
that's a very deep question.
Oh yeah, that's what this
Like-
podcast is about. We go deep.
Like, how do you know you wanted to be a boxer, kind of thing? But,
Well, he can tell you, but that's another
no.
podcast
Oh
altogether.
my goodness. I don't know. I always was very intrigued by animals. I guess more so than I was intrigued
With humans.
by humans. So yeah, we've always had some sort of pet around in the house, like mostly dogs last time. Then at one point it was like 1 dog, 3 cats, and then we had a terrapin, and then yeah, like my mom used to see like injured birds along the road. Then we used to bring back, and then you would try to nurse to health, that sort of thing. So it just sort of maybe instilled this love for animals in me, I suppose. So that's why lah. I mean, I always wanted to work with animals.
I think those who love animals always got some experience with animals when they are
last
younger, like
time.
taking care of birds. You know, I'm still freaked out by birds.
By
Really?
Yeah. I know what you're thinking.
Not by your own bird.
Yeah, I mean my freaky experience with an animal when I was a kid was I saw a cat got hit by a car. So I realized it was raining. Then so I went to the cat. And surprisingly, it was still alive, but the eye was coming out of the socket. And so I carried it. After that, I was just like freaked out by cats for a while. That's
By
my
normal
experience. But
cats?
yeah,
Oh,
but that didn't
no.
want to make me be a vet or be a nurse at an animal clinic.
I think
It's quite a creepy. It's quite a freaky thing to see
I
the
think-
eye coming out and still breathing and panting. And
it's just suffering there. And
Yeah.
you're-
Hang on, so you're afraid of birds and cats?
I used to. If I see a bird, I'll be like, "Ugh." If I see a cat, I can still touch it, but not a
That
fan.
image still
Yeah.
is in your-
If any of Ridwan's future opponents are listening to this, throw birds at him. Tons and tons of birds, if you know what I mean.
just tweet at him.
Yeah, or even tweet at him.
It doesn't work. It has to be a bird like you.
I'm not
Bird
a
brain.
bird. Bird brain.
Yeah. Okay. Back to you.
Come on, with something more original, please. now, Don. So, how many pets do you have now? You said at one point of time you had a lot.
Now we're left with 1 cat. So they eventually like grew older and older, and then
Oh no.
Yeah. But that happens, I guess. With pets, they always go before you. So I mean, that's the heartbreaking part.
I've always thought that having pets were cool. I've always wanted a cat. But my dad didn't let me have a cat because he has like really severe asthma. So when I got my own house, I got my own cat, and all I want to say is that if you have a new house with a lot of leather furniture,
Don't keep cats.
do not keep a cat. I have a very expensive sofa which reclines, and now it has like scratch marks all over it. I just feel sad that I spent so much money and then the cat just destroys it.
But you still love your cat.
I still do love my cat until my daughter came along.
Oh.
Yeah, but if you have jealousy issues, don't have cats, because remember him being jealous of his cat because the cat is getting too close to his wife.
Yes. Do you think cats are weird like that? Sometimes they are clingy and sometimes they like.
But they're like humans, what? Like
Are
humans
they?
are weird too in a lot of senses.
Well, I
they
think-
do get clingy as well.
I think you're referring to Ridwan.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Ridwan is really clingy. Like yesterday, I was late for our meeting, and it's like the moment I reached the gym's door, he's like, "Oh, I'm so happy you're here. I thought you're not gonna come. I was being sad and stuff like that." And then I'm
He
like,
offered you a huge hug or something.
"Yeah, I didn't want that. Not from him."
Yeah, whatever.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but I think cats. This is something that I did not realize about having animals around the house, and it's how much they help you de-stress. I don't know what I mean. You could probably tell me more about like the emotional component of how humans and cats interact, but I think me and my wife, we had a very stressful period at that point of time when we just moved in and we just got married and stuff like that. So the thing about marriage is that nothing can prepare you for that. So we had a lot of challenges early on, and then I think instantly when I had an aunt who has a lot of cats. I think she has, I think, 10 to 12 cats,
Wow, that's a lot.
and they are of a very particular species which I like, which is if I'm not wrong, it's Siberian and Persian mix,
Ooh, the long fur kind
Yes.
with the flat nose.
which is also something I regret now.
Nose, the nose. She has to mention the nose.
But they're very
Yeah,
cute.
okay.
Those
Yeah,
cats are
Yeah,
cute.
yeah. Well, that's because your nose is so prominent that people just have to talk about noses, bro. But and we got his name is Snowy. We got Snowy when Snowy was like 2 months old,
Mm.
and he was still very small.
Mm.
And
You buy it?
no, I mean we
Adopted it?
beg her to give us
Okay,
one
okay.
of those. But the moment we got Snowy back, I mean, the moment I saw, when I first went to meet Snowy, we have not decided whether we wanted to have a cat or not. But the moment I saw like Snowy in my wife's arms and like how much he made my wife happy, and I was like, all right, he's coming home with us. And then on the way home, he
Sold.
pooped. He pooped inside his bag.
Opening ceremony.
Welcome
That was
present.
that was the moment I realized that I have no idea what I was getting myself into. Yeah, Snowy's 1.5 now, and he's huge. You know, those Siberian cats are huge. I think they're the second biggest breed behind Maine Coon.
Oh, the Maine Coon, yeah.
So yeah, he eats a lot, and he always wants to play. Which now that I have a daughter running around, it's tiring. So I know that he feels neglected. But Snowy, if you're listening, I love you. But
How much does he eat every day?
he eats at least 3 bowls of dry food.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay, like if your bowl is.
Yeah, my bowl is quite small, but we top it up in the morning when we go to work, and then when we come back, we top it up again, and then right before we go to sleep, we top it
eats
up again.
Ooh.
And on top of that, he eats wet food. He eats half a can of wet food in the morning for breakfast. Chicken tuna with
Wow.
anchovies,
So high
mayonnaise
class.
bits.
So high class. Mayonnaise some more.
Mayonnaise.
You got
yeah.
effort to put the mayonnaise in.
I'm not-
How much do you
He's
spend
gonna
on your
get
cat?
huge.
Pardon?
He's gonna get huge.
Well, I think that's the point that my
Your wife
my wife wants to get him. I think he's as huge as my 8-month-old daughter now,
Wow.
but he is a lot heavier.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but expenditure wise is
Yeah, how much? How much you spend? $300-400 I think.
no. We spend maybe $100 on his food
No.
every 2 months,
Wow,
Mm.
that's not
Oh,
too
that's
bad.
still.
and then another $100 every 2 months on grooming, because he has
Oh, he has the.
He has long fur. So if you don't, so we've decided to trim it all the way down that he looks like a lion now, because if not, his fur will be all over the place. And having Shava around, crawling around, Shava has wet palms. Shava's my daughter.
Mhm.
She have wet palms, and then all the fur will just stick there. And then she likes to suck on her
Oh.
her fingers like that.
But now, what if you find out Shafa is allergic to
Cats.
your cat now? What are you gonna do with your cat? Are you gonna give it away?
Oh,
Bye,
no.
Snowy.
Oh no!
Wow, without second thoughts.
Yeah, we don't. Daughter over cat. Come on, man. Anytime. Humans over pets.
Depends on the human.
Do people leave animals outside the clinic though?
Oh yes.
A lot of
Um,
times.
We've had a few already. I think mostly hamsters. I don't know where
Hamsters?
hamsters. They just leave them there, and then
Mhm.
when we open the door, they're there.
Then what do you do with
So-
hamsters?
We try to keep them, and then we try to get people to adopt them.
Okay.
So give them away, but in the meantime, at least make sure that they're
What problems would hamster have usually?
lumps,
What's that?
like cancer or tumors.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. Their lifespan now is not very long. I think a couple of years only. But a
Okay.
lot of them come in with random growths.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you put like animals to sleep in the clinic?
Mm.
Do you think the animals know that they're going to sleep forever?
Oh, this guy's going deep.
Because I see like posts on Facebook. I'm a like a Facebook guy. Because like
Really?
like the dogs or cats, they know like it's gonna be their last time, and all they want is their owners to be there. But the owner usually won't be there because they are not able to
Some of
watch or something.
Some of the owners, they don't want to watch.
Yeah,
so,
but all they want is that owners to be there.
I think if they're really, really sick, to be honest, at that last point, it's that kind of emotion I feel is something that the humans give them. But to them, I think they're just trying to either stay alive or they're just fighting not to go. So I'm not sure. Like to be honest, I don't really think they're aware of the fact that they are. But it's a good thing to do lah, because otherwise you rather go them sleeping than go off in pain.
Yeah.
So,
Because I'm a strong believer, the eyes don't lie. I mean,
that's
whatever.
when
Yeah,
they
but
see
and
you,
like
yeah.
when
Because
like
you got crazy eyes, bro.
so when like I see, I only see videos like when you're gonna be put away to sleep. You can see like some sort of like they know what's going on.
I think for there are cases like if they're not like really really sick, you sometimes it just breaks your heart sometimes when you're going to and then they suddenly before their last breath they get up and they look at you and then they go and then you're just but buddy it's we just want you to be in peace. So yeah, but that last look that they give you is
How long
really
does it
fine.
take for them
It's supposed to be quite quickly. So normally what happens is that
It's painless, I think.
it's painless. So the first step is to let them like sleep first, like actual sleep. So they're not feeling anything, and then you do the drug to stop the heart lah. So.
But what kind of animals you put to sleep? Like cats, dogs? Do hamsters? Are hamsters put to sleep? They are also put to sleep.
Yeah, especially if they're quite in pain.
I didn't expect hamsters to be put to sleep though.
A lot of them have breathing issues as well. So.
Terrapins?
Terrapins, yeah.
Do people send terrapins too?
Yes.
I know
They
someone
send, like,
with
tiny ones.
breathing issues that you can put to sleep.
I have breathing issues too. But
This guy.
Oh,
over here
no.
with that nose.
It helps.
Yeah,
For-
sure, dude.
for
Do
oxygen.
you know that the last few? Yeah, you keep on doing that with your nose all the time, and the listeners and the viewers can listen to it all the time. Can we not talk about death now?
Well,
Okay,
it's part
I
of
mean-
life. I mean, well.
okay, but before we move on from death, what do you guys do after you put the animal to
Yeah.
sleep? I've always wondered
We-
that. Where do you dispose it or?
No, we get someone to collect. Sounds like a very harsh word to use, but we get someone to bring them to crematory services lah. Because once you're not supposed to bury the animal if the animals had like the drugs put in them. So
Okay.
because if you bury, then it goes to the ground. Like random animals will eat stuff from the ground, and then it gets blah 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 blah. So.
But is there a proper place to bury an animal in Singapore?
Actually, no.
I buried a cat in the playground before.
Yeah,
I think
that's
a
the
lot
thing.
of people do
That's the
that.
thing. Like, I have a friend who I think his cat passed away, and then I think he did it near his house, which is a flat. So Jay, if you're listening, you're not supposed to do that, buddy.
But if the cat's got no drugs in it, it's fine, right?
Technically, I think unless the land belongs to you.
Yeah, of course.
So.
No
Well,
land
no,
blocks.
Tell me
Singapore
about
land
Tell
scarce.
me, name me a Singaporean who has land.
But yeah, I've done it before as well. Last time when like pets die. So AVA, please don't come for me.
So you can actually get fined if you do
I
that.
think so, but you can get fined for a lot of things in Singapore, but you don't. So
True that.
So moving on from death,
From
are there
very-
ghost animals?
I hope not, because sometimes we stay at the
Really?
clinic till quite late. So.
Oh, tell us more. Tell us some more about the clinic that you are working at.
Clinic.
Yeah, what is it
do you
called? Where
mean?
is it located?
It's Monster Pet Vet. Hi guys.
Shout out.
What's the pet vet?
It's at Everton, 6 Everton Park.
Okay.
So if you like coffee, it's near Line Lawn. But yeah, mostly seeing rabbits. I guess we got a lot of rabbit
Rabbits.
clients. Yeah, rabbit clients. Some cats, dogs. We see guinea pigs, quite a number as well. So it's quite an interesting mix, I would say.
What's a day at the vet like for you?
A day at the so there's receptionist duties, there's hospital duties. So reception, obviously you deal with the clients, you answer phone calls, you make appointments, you prepare medications. Then when you're at the back, it's if there are any patients in house, then you have to check what sort of medications they need, what sort of care they need, and then you're helping the vets mostly with restraint, blood withdrawal, if they have to do IV catheters or with surgeries mostly.
Do you get bitten a lot?
Oh yes, I got like this scar here. I got like
From
scratches.
from what?
Cat.
Yeah, the cats are the worst when you try to restrain them, because like they just don't want to be held
If
back.
they don't want to, they don't want to. There's no forcing them. It's like, yeah.
So you're a cat person or a dog person?
Surprisingly, I think I'm more of a cat person, but I do like a dog once in a while.
Okay.
Like the wagging tail and the unconditional love, yeah, that's nice once in a while. But
Yeah,
I
cats
do like
only-
my cats with the oh.
Yeah, cats only want you when they want something.
Yeah.
Yeah, cats are weird, man. I still find cats weird. Like
They've
even though
got personality.
yeah, they are just arrogant little pricks. Like it's like ever since I got my daughter, Snowy has been sleeping outside of our bedroom.
Mm.
Usually he sleeps like on the bed with us. But these days, like, he's always dying to come in. But it's like the moment I let him into the room, the first thing he does is like climb onto the bed and sleep on top of our heads. And I'm
So
telling
cute.
and I tell him like, come on, dude, let's do a bit of give and take here. I already let you in the room. You can choose anywhere else you
But
want to
you
sleep in the room, but you choose my head. How am I supposed to sleep? And then like, if he just sleeps on your head, it's fine because it's kind of warm, right?
Yes.
But then
He'll peace on you.
No, he'll start like slowly
kneading
stroking
the-
your hair, kneeling it, like the paws on your head and stuff like that. Oh, it's never happened to
Showing you
me.
some TLC. So.
It's never happened to me. It happened a lot to my wife.
Is that your jealousy? No.
Maybe a bit. Maybe a bit. But yeah, I think cats. So, when I think I didn't actually realize how emotionally attached I was to Snowy until the day I had to bring him to the vet one day, because he was constantly sneezing non-stop, and I thought it was weird. Even though like when me being a parent, I always Google things, right? And Google always give you the worst case
Yes,
scenario.
never Google.
Dr. Google is the worst. But I got paranoid when it went on for like 2-3 days.
Just
You-
non-stop?
Yeah, it's not non-stop, but it happens every 15 minutes. And it's like it's a feat of yeah. And it sounded worse and worse all the time.
Oh dear.
And then I was like, okay, we're taking you to the vet. So I went to the vet and we were waiting for our turn, and there was a couple beside me, and the guy went in to the room to see the doctor, and then he came out a few minutes later, and then he just looked at the girl and was like, yeah, I think you might want to see him. The doctor said that it's not looking too good for him. And then the female started crying,
Oh gosh.
and then I looked at Snowy and I was like,
You better not.
Your next mate.
Oh, no.
God damn it! Why do I have to listen to this? And why are you not sneezing now? Come on, dude, look at me. And then, like, I just like, that's when I realized like, wow, it's actually really like a human relationship. And I started having cold sweat, and I was alone because my wife was pregnant at the time. She was so she can't go to the vet. And I was like, how am I supposed to break the news to her? Blah 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 blah. So we went in the vet, and the vet saw us, and apparently it's normal for him to be sneezing like that because he's a crossbreed. And so he is going to have some breathing issues from time to time, and he sneezes a lot when his fur grows really, really long, apparently. So I don't know whether that's the truth or not. Is there such a thing?
I think so. I think we've had quite a lot of sneezing cats.
You
but
gotta
I
pay if you wanna. If you want any.
So our
advice,
clinic
you gotta
open
pay.
hours
What? That's the whole point of getting you here. I need to talk to you about my cat.
Yeah, that's the purpose because he just wants free
Oh, that's
consultation.
actually what you. But I'm
Yeah, don't
that
fall into the
nurse.
Well, you know more than
I can't
us.
diagnose. I can't diagnose. Well, it's
All
like
right,
going
next
to
guest.
the farm. All right.
No, but I think the funniest thing about that whole episode was after that we had to give him medication.
That's always fun with cats.
Wow, we syringe. We were syringe.
with a syringe, and my wife's like, yeah, no, you're practicing for your baby, so. But I tell you, babies don't bite, they don't scratch, and they don't growl.
They don't growl, they don't
They
hiss,
just
Yeah, they
put-
don't hiss.
They just put the liquid medication in the food.
they don't eat the food.
Really?
Yeah.
They won't. They know.
Why
They
don't you
know.
just inject it? No.
Well, he had a
No.
shot
Oh.
on top of having the medication, but you know, like, dude, vets are so expensive for some reason. Why are they so
Mm.
expensive? I don't get it. Like that consultation cost me like $200.
Because they don't study here, they have to go overseas. Somebody's gonna pay for the air flight.
If we get $1 for every time we hear that, I think we'll be even richer.
But
no, but
I mean, I don't mind paying it because it gives me an ease of mind. You know what I mean? But again, there should be a polyclinic for pets.
there should be a standard, I suppose. But that's why in Singapore there's no standard for pricing. But I mean, there's insurance for humans. Pet insurance
Is there?
premium there is, but the premium is high. The
How
premium is
high?
crazy
I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know
they-
animals
hear
got
that-
insurance.
Okay, then I
Yeah.
should get one for Snowy and for one for Ridhwan
Oh, thanks.
as my pet.
We're gonna be
So
out of job
kind
soon.
you.
So
Who does this insurance?
I'm actually not too sure, but we do have clients who like get us to sign, get the vets to sign papers saying, oh, then they're gonna claim from insurance. It was like, oh, you're lucky. So
oh, that's
but
good.
yeah, it's,
Should go
it's not
get it.
very common here. I think it's more common in Australia, UK, kind of.
Right.
But you gotta consider, the vets, human doctors see humans, and they're like, GPs are GPs, dentists are dentists, radiologists are radiologists, oncologists. But vets, they're gonna see your dogs, your cats, your rabbits, your birds, your lizards, your whatever. And they gotta do X-rays, they gotta do the cancer stuff, they gotta do dental work, they gotta do your usual GP stuff, your specialist stuff. And they're still just one person, so they're like basically trained for everything.
So, but there are vets who specialize in certain
Oh
animals.
yes,
right?
yes,
Because
definitely.
I go to the cat clinic. There's a cat clinic.
Ah, yes, yes.
So I presume they are experts in cats.
They mostly see cats.
Which but they made me like second guess them once. Because they couldn't find out whether Snowy was a boy or a girl.
Sometimes the little bits don't come down, so you gotta wait for them to slowly descend.
Stop staring at me, one. I know yours still have not come down, but you don't have to stare at me.
I mean, it
like
took a
that.
while for me to realize whether you're male or female, but no wonder you like cat.
Yeah, but it was so weird because like, the aunt who gave me Snowy said that Snowy's a male, and then before I went to the clinic, I
How
called
did
her.
she know?
Yeah.
Well, because do you know that my aunt, she's like a nurse herself. She facilitates when her cats give birth,
Oh.
so she does it all at home.
And she has 12 cats, you see?
She has 12, and I think they're growing more and more each and every day. Like sometimes she tells me she doesn't even know like if that cat is pregnant, and then like all she knows that suddenly they're giving birth.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I don't know how trained she is or how sanitized she is. But Snowy looked okay. Snowy looked fine. But yeah, like when I call her, it's like, then she's like, actually, to be honest with you, I'm not too sure whether Snowy is a boy or girl. And I was like, but I want him to be a him. And I was like, then I guess you can do something at the clinic. Yeah, but apparently Snowy is a boy. So we left him overnight to get castrated.
Oh, overnight, okay.
And then we found out very interesting. The nurse was telling me that the nurse asked me if Snowy has ever mixed around with any other cats before, and Snowy has because my mother-in-law has 2 cats, and sometimes we bring Snowy around to play with those cats.
So mix around.
Yeah, mix
okay.
around, and it's like, oh, because he keep on hissing and growling when we put him beside female cats. So there might be something here where
Some
he likes
love.
males. and I turn around to my wife like, nope, this is not happening. Snowy is straight. Snowy is gonna be straight. If I have to make him straight, I'll make him straight. Yeah, so that's the biggest concern I have about Snowy right now.
Yeah. But he's already castrated. So.
Yeah, too bad for him.
Is it mean to I don't
No,
know.
I think it's
Really?
especially for if you don't plan to mate them, then reduces the chances of any like testicular cancer or ovarian cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
The noise that they make
I
when
know.
they
I've
are
heard
in
Oh.
it.
heat. Well,
Yeah,
this
I
not
know. Yeah. I
one.
heard it.
This is not the same kind of sound you make, Ridwan. This is different. Okay.
I hear you make that sound so many times when you're crying, when you're training once every 6 months.
Yeah, but it's really it started scary at first because I've never heard that sound coming out from him. And then he starts to like spray things all over
Oh,
the
the
house.
spraying is the
Wow,
worst.
what's that? Spray what? I didn't know about this part.
Please enlighten
they-
this ape.
I
They
only know
kind of spray to mark, and the smell is just
Oh, pee? Is that pee?
like sort of, I guess.
Oh
It comes from
my.
the same area.
Comes from the
Okay.
PP.
Okay.
So
okay.
it could be pee.
Castrate them all.
Yeah. And,
But it's not a definite like thing, like guarantee that they'll
Yeah, it's
stop
not.
spraying if
Oh.
you
It's not.
castrate them.
So Snowy stop spraying?
well, he stopped spraying. He only sprayed he has this little hut that we
Oh,
bought
that's
him.
his.
Yeah,
his
that's
alone.
that's his alone. And he overgrew that thing, but he sprayed there. And we only noticed it like I think a week after because
Oh.
there was a weird smell
Smell.
coming from it. And then he started making all those weird sounds. And then we have a small little rabbit bear.
Damn.
He hums that thing like nobody's business.
Oh no, the poor rabbit bear.
Yeah, is like and he gets really aggressive when we take the
Bites
rabbit bear
Oh.
away from him. It's like this is mine. This is my boo. Don't take it away from me. Like he will bite the hand that feeds him.
That's
that
his
ungrateful
bae.
cat. He's bitten me a couple of times and he's hissed at us when like and this is so stupid, but he only mates when we want to sleep.
Yeah, always like 2, 3 a.m.
In the
Nah,
middle
well,
of the-
I don't know what time you sleep, but I'm healthy, so I sleep like at before 12.
Mhm.
So when like sometimes somehow he knows that we're going to sleep, so the lights are off and everything. So he walk into the room, and he knows the aircon is on, and then he'll just look for his boo.
It's a
We
prank
tried-
cat.
We tried hiding it from him
playtime.
like everywhere, but we couldn't.
That's true.
You're gonna
Anyway.
smell. He has this.
At the end of the day, that thing smelled like shit.
But is your cat toilet trained or what?
No, my cat, my cat goes where every other cat goes in a potty.
The litter.
Yeah, in the
Oh,
litter.
okay.
But you're right when you say it's not guaranteed because even after we did the procedure, like a week after, he was still humping the rabbit. The poor rabbit. But luckily, I think now he has stopped.
Okay, he's gotten older past that.
Yeah, I think he's more eyeing on my, not to hump. I hope. But
Okay.
he's eyeing on my daughter these
Mm.
days and taking care of her pretty well.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I tell
Does he
you.
get protective over her?
No, but he gets jealous. So like when we play with Shava, he will come and he'll like lie down beside and he's like, "What about me, dude?"
Yeah, Puss in Boots face.
And then it's like, but here's the thing though. But if we ever leave Shafa inside the room on her own
Hmm.
in her cot, guess who is towering above her?
Oh, must be the cat.
Yeah,
Oh.
He's there like whenever we're not in the room and Shafa's alone, he's there
He-
looking after her.
Oh, that's
Oh,
so
that's nice.
sweet.
Yeah, but we've caught him like biting her a few times. I don't know. I think it's tough brotherly love.
No, not cool, bro.
But the thing is, Shafa is the one who is like really rough with him,
Oh.
cause she'll go like "Pah," and Snowy would tolerate like maybe 3-4 seconds of it before she's like, and I was like, okay, guys,
Separate.
you guys got 2 rooms to yourself. You have 1 room and you have the other room. Please just go to your rooms. He doesn't understand, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course.
But okay, enough about
He doesn't
Snowy
understand
and my cat.
ape language.
Coming from the ape himself. What's one of the
Hmm.
weirdest patient you ever had?
Weirdest. Oh boy.
There must be a story somewhere.
I did. Starting to dig it out. We do have a couple of kung fu rabbits. Like they will really box you. Like
Really?
jab cross at you. Seriously. They know when you want to feed them medications. So like when you approach the cage, and they growl, and then they just pounce on you from far. And it's like, go away. And then when you want to feed them, they push your hand, they bite you, they scramble. But yeah, but those are the patients that you're like,
But are the owners usually more difficult to deal with,
um,
or are they pretty much like quite understanding when they send their pets?
we do get the occasional difficult owner, like you want to help the animal, but they don't want to do this, they don't want to do that. They request that you keep them someplace like by themselves. You need to use their water bottle, their boiled water, or something like that. But overall, I think they're very understanding. Like, they know that their animal needs help or they need some care, needs us to take care of it. They don't have time, so they just send it over. They are quite understanding.
Is there like a rule if like somebody brings an illegal animal, illegal pet, something that shouldn't be here in Singapore? Are you going to go? What are you going to do? Are you still going to treat it, or are you going to complain to?
I think the technically the vet code of practice is that you have to treat anything that comes in that needs treatment. You cannot just turn it away. But we are supposed to
report.
Let the person know. This is something that you're not supposed to keep lah. So either we are going to report, otherwise you have to report it yourself.
Have you ever dealt with anything illegal?
Yeah, but
just a breed that's not allowed.
there are a lot of breeds actually.
Crocodile?
Crocodile.
Alligators?
How to fit in the clinic?
Well, there's a
How
small
to
one.
fit through the front door?
What about a snake?
Yeah,
Is it a snake?
I'm sure somebody brought the snake in.
Oh,
Are snakes
weird.
even allowed to be your pet?
No.
No,
Or
right?
weird
No,
lizard
no,
like an
no.
iguana?
I think we've
That's allowed, right?
seen that. I've seen people who have that. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Is it allowed?
No.
Iguana not allowed?
Iguana not allowed. Snakes not allowed.
Why
I
is
think
iguana not allowed?
Gecko's not allowed also. Why is it not
They're
allowed?
disgusting, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
They
yeah,
give
but
me the jitters. Ugh.
They're very cute.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
see,
that's
this is
a-
why you are working in that
Right.
in that department, in that sector, and we're
they,
not.
they eat cockroaches, you know.
Okay. Then maybe that's the only good thing about
They're
them.
the only good thing about
But
them.
lizards and nah.
Even the geckos with the fat tails.
Oh.
The snake that goes like
So somebody brought in a snake before?
yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
but,
I had a
um,
weird
think-
experience with snakes.
I have a experience with snakes like once every week.
Oh really? Like oh.
Come on, you deal with
Yeah.
more snakes
Yeah.
than me. I think my experience with snakes was I think we in JC I went for a geography trip. I went to Tioman Island. So we went for a night walk, and then me being alpha, leading the class,
okay.
right, with
Yeah.
the guide. And we were walking through like some wetlands and stuff like that. And then he just picked up, oh, yeah, here's a couple of snakes. And then who wants to hold them? And nobody wanted to hold them. But there was a couple of chicks in the class that I wanted to impress. And they're like, yeah, me. I'm not afraid of no snake. And then like he put the snakes on me, and I just like, I'm gonna pass out anytime now. Gotta stay strong for the chicks. Luckily, someone took them away from me. And
before you crumpled to the floor.
I've never liked snakes ever since then.
They're very nice.
I think they're slimy. Even though I know.
They're not slimy.
I
They're
just-
not supposed to be slimy.
Okay, I just learned that because I went to the zoo last
What
weekend.
snake are you touching?
No, not that kind of snake.
I'm not even referring to that, but since you said it,
A python, a boa constrictor.
Oh.
Yeah, but I know they're not meant to be. They're not supposed to be slimy. But just the feeling of them on my skin was like,
You had to put one around your neck.
yeah, no thanks. I'm good. My sister can't even look at snakes. I don't know what her
Oh, yeah,
experience.
my
with snakes.
mom and snakes are like, you show her a picture on the phone, she throws your phone when she
Oh,
sees
dear.
it.
How do
so-
you deal with that? Like, do you have any phobias of any certain creatures?
Yeah.
cockroach?
But nobody brings in a cockroach to the clinic. But
No, but like they're usually around. Like if
yeah,
you
but
throw
is-
rubbish.
if somebody brings in an animal that, for let's say you are like me, you hate birds, you're not a fan of birds. Then somebody brought in a bird. Will you get
Um,
somebody else to
yeah,
do it? Yeah.
I guess yes. If
I guess it's quite normal for a nurse to be like that, right? To be
Yeah,
like,
I do have like I do have colleagues who like they have certain things that they prefer not to handle. So then the rest of us just take over. Yeah. So they know as well. I mean, otherwise they're gonna freak out, and then what if you drop an animal? That's going to be
yeah. What if you
it's going
drop
to be something.
the other?
Some other
Yeah,
story.
I've seen videos of like people dropping their pets, and I mean it's not fine, but it's okay if it's the owner who dropped it because it's the owner's fault.
But if you
But when it's somebody else's fault, it's just like a baby. If someone drops your baby, you'll just
oh
like
yes.
Hulk, you know. So yeah, but I mean, what about? Have you ever handled weird owners?
Oh, of course, definitely.
Okay, tell me. Come on,
Oh my
spill,
goodness.
spill some dirt. Like,
Um,
are they clingy ones? Like, no, like you're
They-
just gonna like, no, we're just actually just gonna check. And it's like, no, they're not gonna take my cat.
they, you do get those that are overly protective, or like they sometimes you got to call them for phone updates, or like, oh, how was your animal after it came in, etc. And then they can spend like 10 minutes just talking about how the poop looks like. And I just need a few, I don't need you to tell the whole life story, but you just gotta listen, I suppose. And then yeah, but we've got also those owners. We got a lot of owners who they expect like everything, but they don't want to pay for anything, and they're complaining. Why does it cost this much? And then they're asking the nurse, and then yeah, and we do have a lot of like sarcastic ones lah. Like as a nurse, sometimes you just got to verify with the vets. But they look at you and you're like, but you're a nurse, what? I ask you for what? So yeah, I might as well just talk to the vet. But the vet's in consult. The vet's in consult for the next 2 hours. Are you gonna? You're not gonna tell the person to, can you hold on for 2 hours? But yeah.
So let me get this straight. You are a vet nurse, but other like on top of handling all kinds of animals, you
gotta
have to
deal with
handle the
them.
human. You should get paid twice.
Mm.
tell a boss. That's the purpose of the podcast.
Yeah, I mean it must be a challenge to actually like handle trying to reason to human beings about
Yeah.
pets, right?
Yeah, because it's your concern is the pet, but the client's concern is also the pet, and you've got to deal with the client as well. What they think is good for the pet. Like if you're saying, we've had cases where the vets tell the client, oh, because of certain issues that your cat or dog has, got to change the diet. So we do recommend certain prescribed diets. Then the owner's like, no, but I feed like grain-free, gluten-free, everything at home. Maybe I can just cook for him. I don't want to change to the diet. I don't want to take any supplements because I think natural remedy is the best. So just gets a bit difficult sometimes. I mean, we're trying to help. It's not like we're trying to kill your animal. So.
What would you say is the biggest challenge you've ever had being a vet nurse?
Biggest challenge. I still think it's the dealing with clients bit. But the other one is also to handling death is another thing. Yeah, I mean it comes up again lah, the topic of death.
Yeah,
but
do you cry when like?
yeah,
But it's not
I
you
do,
who
but-
put the animals to sleep, right?
No, but sometimes they go unexpectedly. Let's say in
Oh.
the middle of surgery or in the middle of something, and that's always
Wow, in the
always
middle of
something, yeah.
surgery.
yeah, they do that. Like humans, I suppose. There's always that risk. And then it's just a scramble. You get all the emergency drugs. You try to stabilize, and then like if they still go, especially when nobody expects them to go, it's like it's a routine surgery or something. Then that's the thing that you really gotta deal with. Because sometimes you just go back and then you're thinking, did I do something wrong? Was it something when I was monitoring? Did I not see any signs? Was it my fault? Did I do something like, did I accidentally like not take note of something when it was going on? So
Yeah, if that happens, do the owners like try to blame you or sue?
thankfully,
clinic or
a lot of
something?
them are understanding lah. We always try to before that we always try to explain any risks, but the vets will explain the risks, and but of course it's also very sad when you hear the vet. The vet I think has a very huge responsibility because they're usually the ones who speak to the owners about it, and then once you hear the owners cry in the room. Wow, it's something you don't want to hear all the time, I would say. Yeah.
What would you say is what's the kind of satisfaction you get out of your job?
Especially when you see a patient get better, definitely. Especially if like we do have a lot of rabbits who they always have gut issues. They cannot stop eating. Like they don't eat for more than 6 hours.
Stop eating, stop humping.
You know,
I
no
have that
energy
problem
for not that's for petting nurse, not for not for vet nurse. So, but yeah, so you see them come in, day out. Just so some of them you got to do feeding every 2 hours because they're not eating by themselves. So every 2 hours, if they have bloat issues, sometimes we're giving them medications every 15 minutes. So then, like day in day out, they come in, and then you start seeing them poop. I've never been so glad to see poo in my life, but when you see them poop, you're like, oh, there's poop, and then they're eating. You take a video, and then that's the nice part. Or like they go through some surgery, and then you see them for a review. They're all like, oh, happy to see you. That's one of the nice parts. Like, oh, when a clients, we do have very appreciative clients, I must say. So sometimes they're like, oh, thank you nurses, thank you doctors, thank you everybody. They thank the clinic cats as well, and then it's very heartwarming in a sense. Yeah.
How many vets and nurses are there in the clinic?
Currently, we have 3 vets. Nurses, we have 6.
Oh, there's plenty. The one shift, all 6 or 3 working.
No, so it's we do an AM and a PM shift. So AM usually 2 to 3. On a busy day, we have 4. Then when the PM shift comes in, then usually in the afternoon, sometimes we have like 5 or 6 max power lah.
Is there a shortage of animal? What's it? Vet nurses?
Vet nurses. I think the issue in Singapore is that the turnover rate is very high. One of the reasons probably because there is no certified nursing course lah. So everybody goes in from scratch. A lot of it works very differently from Australia and UK, I would say. So
if you have a normal nursing diploma, you cannot get into.
You can. That they would prefer that actually. Oh, normal nursing as in human.
Yeah.
Yeah, UK. Sorry.
Yes, human.
Yes, you can, but you still have to learn everything from scratch lah. So how to? I mean, the way you hold a baby, you're not gonna like don't the way you hold baby versus the way you hold.
So if I graduate from a nursing diploma, I can just go to a vet animal clinic and apply for a job, and I can get it. But I just start from the bottom, make my way up. Then maybe the
competition is very high though, because a lot of people want to get into the industry.
But I think a lot of people want to get into it because they feel like it's cool. It seems like I think it's for the wrong reasons. I think because I do meet a few people who like want to try to change the world by through animals, but I think they realize it's not as easy as it seems. And for a moment there was this like a very very good looking macho looking doctor who has his own Instagram account carrying huge ass lizards, tigers.
Evan,
in Singapore?
No, not in Singapore, of course not.
I think America?
Yeah, then everybody's like falling in love with him, they fall in love with his profession. It makes the job look so cool. So
But
I think people are doing it for the wrong reasons.
They don't see the dirty aspect of it.
They don't see the death.
And they don't see the poo, they don't see the vomit, they don't see the anal glands.
Yeah. Oh.
Have you ever got a chance to be working at the zoo?
I always wanted to work at the zoo.
Hey, zoo. Hey, listen up. She wants.
I think
to work there.
That's my ultimate goal, really.
I saw your lions last weekend, and they look malnourished.
Don't
She
show him
could
your
probably
snakes.
make them, like Simba from Lion King.
Yeah, there was a period of time I wanted to be a keeper as well. But just that I was more into the medicine aspect, so that's why I joined it was either here or the clinic or the zoo, really. But eventually, I think ultimately my goal is still to get back to the zoo, but focus more on the science aspect, maybe conservation, like reproduction, helping with all the endangered species.
What do you research on, like on animals, for example? What kind of things that you research on?
So if you talk about the reproduction aspect, like how you can giant pandas in Singapore, I think a lot of research is being done as well.
Like
how
you're
you can
encouraging them to reproduce, but they're not.
Yes.
But
What's this? Giant pandas?
Like if you have giant pandas, how to then you have other research. A lot of it is on behavior as well. So behavior, how to improve training aspects. Like if you look at the zoo from last time compared to the zoo now, the training is very, very different as well. So, and the shows that they put on is also very different. Training, they do research on that. They do research on basic functions, or I mean, a lot of the different parts or different processes within the animal's body. I think it's still not discovered, not as much as the humans lah.
Hey, if you know if any of the researchers need like a victim ape, we have one here.
I really recommended you.
No,
Your name, your face is all.
We
it's
need
all
to
there.
check his behavior.
It's gonna be in a cup and with all
And he
paper.
definitely needs to work on his training
You know-
because he lost his last fight. So he might have to
Ouch.
change those.
Oh,
You know, in the previous
no.
podcast, he was saying that he was sending resumes to Starbucks
Yes,
and nobody's
I saw.
replying, right? Yeah, all of those resumes are sent to the zoo. You just waiting for the call, man.
No.
Yeah. Okay, now when you do your research and then you
Mm.
find, let's say about the giant pandas, you find something about the giant pandas eating habits, for example. Then there are obviously a lot of research teams in the world. So how
Oh.
do you make the finding like official?
That's the problem that a lot of researchers face everywhere. I think but I think that's the wrong kind of concept. Like everybody should be working together. It's not like a race to see who can publish something first. So a lot of it is based on publishing. So if you get your results into a paper and the scientists read it, if you get it into a high impact factor like a Nature paper or something, like something very prestigious journal, then chances are you're going to be more recognized lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
fair
So
enough.
first comes first serve is the deal.
Let me
science.
ask you a very Singaporean question.
Mm.
So you graduated from which university again?
NUS,
NUS in Biomed.
biomed engineers.
And then you decided to go wildlife.
Yes, sir.
How did your parents take that decision?
Whew.
I mean, every Singaporean parent would want to ask this. It's
Yeah, I
like,
think all the parents watching there be
I thought you
like,
said pretty okay. It's still a good job, I think. No,
do you
I
have a
think-
degree in Biomed?
I mean,
Then
I
you
won't.
don't answer this
I
question.
will complain.
Yeah, but it's still, I mean, Biomed would probably have more reaches in terms of.
the demand is higher. I
Mm.
think the salary probably higher.
Mhm.
Remuneration is definitely higher. Recognition, well, recognition is a very
No,
difficult
nobody
thing to
cares
say.
about
Like, yeah,
Who can not say nobody
will
cares,
say,
but yeah.
I would say vet nurse is cooler, but
That's why you're here, not a Biomed.
So they were
student.
against it for a bit.
no, they weren't
The
against it
question-
actually. They were the big answer is that they actually were very, very, very supportive. But I did like pay my dues lah. My dad was very my dad my dad was very, very, very kind enough to help me to sponsor the tuition fees that I'm trying to pay him back lah. But at least for accommodation and living expenses, I tried to based on my 2 years of working, try to just pay for that as well from my end. So it's not entirely him. But thankfully, it was just a 1-year course. If it was the actual vet course and 5 years and $500,000 Singapore dollars, no, I don't think I would have.
$500,000 Singapore dollars to be a vet.
Wow. it's gonna-
Including expenses lah, your living and accommodation. But tuition fee is high. If you go to UK, living expenses is high. If you go to Australia, tuition fee is very high, and it's like 5-6 years. So
6 years to get. I think is it a
vet
master's?
degree.
Oh, it's a
vet
vet
degree.
degree.
Yeah, my master's was like a 1-year program, so that was like 1 year crammed into.
So even though there's like a shortage of vets, would you say there's a shortage of vets
I
in
wouldn't
Singapore?
say there's a shortage of vets now. 10 years ago, probably. Now, I think a lot of students, like they come out of JC, it's like, oh, I want to go be a vet. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to UK. I've got a lot of parents asking me, oh, so my kid wants to be a vet. So they're asking me like, how did you do it? I was like, I'm not sure you want to take this route,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say there's a shortage of vets. Especially now, you see actually a lot of new clinics popping up.
Yeah.
I don't know where they get the revenue to and the space to, but yeah, a lot of new clinics, a lot of new vets. But yeah, it's going to be a tough business lah, especially with so many clinics popping out. Your clients are just gonna.
So now, I mean, you told us that you went a long way around to get to where you are now. Now, if someone's growing up, somebody who is young, who's listening to this right now, what are the steps, the shortest steps that he or she could take to eventually be in the industry?
Well, shortest.
There's no shortcut to
steps.
success,
Yeah.
bro.
What he said.
You mean there's no cheap way to success, bro? I think this sounds very expensive.
Actually,
Yeah, it's crazy,
yeah,
man.
it is a very expensive course. But there's a new one, something that they just started. I think this year. Then first intake is this year or next year. So NUS is teaming up with one of the Australian universities. So I think they're offering, they're catering mostly to the vet tech poly students. So you go into NUS, you do the first 2 years in Singapore, and then you go overseas to complete. Like you do all the farming, the farm practicals and all the hands-on overseas lah. So apparently, because of this, Singaporean students have a higher chance of getting in. But I don't think that the fees are cheaper.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So how many years of it's probably gonna be secondary school, poly.
Mm.
So
Then
what courses can they take in poly?
vet technician, so
So
veterinary technician. Those are the
that's
only.
3 years or 4 years?
That's
Three.
three, if I'm not wrong.
So after that it's uni.
Yeah.
For how many years?
5 or 6.
Whoa.
5 or
Five or
6 years.
Yeah.
Forever studying, forever repaying your
forever,
loans.
yeah, yeah. But if if you do like secondary school, JC 2 years, then you either, if you go to UK, it's like 4-year course, and then, or if you go to Australia, it's still going to be like a 4-5-year course. So
Okay.
it still adds up in both time and money.
Sounds tough, just like everything else.
Mm.
That's what makes us appreciate people in your position even more now, because you have gone the long route,
Extremely long.
and it seems like you're still very motivated.
Yeah, actually go for your passion, I think.
How important is it, do you think, to go for your passion instead of something that makes money? Like, you obviously made the choice
Mm.
from biomed to
I could stick to research, which would
Yeah.
but I think don't follow your passion blindly is the thing I would say. Definitely go figure out what you're in for and what you need in order to get to where you want to be. You don't just dive first into it, and then you don't know what's going on, and then you're like struggling. But if you do get the opportunity, grab it by the bum.
Balls.
Just-
Grab it by the balls.
grab me by the balls. We use balls
yeah,
here.
grab it by the balls, man. But yeah, still, you still have to consider like weigh your priorities. I made this decision because I also had the support of my family, of my friends, about my close friends. Boyfriend's also supportive, so it's not like you still have to listen to people around you.
Correct.
I would say, yeah. So but if you feel that it's the right thing to do, it's still like 20% a gut feel. So if you feel like it's the right thing to do, then go for it. Yeah, just go all in for it.
I've been wanting to ask you this question
No.
from the beginning.
Yes, sir.
When people walk into the clinic and they see your hair, do they go like, whoa,
No, because one of the vets actually has rainbow hair, so that I
Wow.
can't beat that. Yeah.
brilliant?
It's
All right,
like a
if you
clinic
wanna-
culture, so no.
It is the clinic culture. That's brilliant, I think.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons she's got into the show is also because of her hair. To be honest.
Oh, hi.
Her hair.
nice.
I was thinking because also you're our first female guest. So
Oh, is
thank
it?
you.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Represent.
he was unsure to get you, to be honest.
To be honest, you can get me anybody here. I will talk my ass off. But this is because I just went to the zoo last weekend, and then I have a cat. I thought this was great timing for you to come in.
You know what
There's
you're
some free
gonna say. is
consultation.
it? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what's up with the hair? Like, are you constantly changing it? Is it the stress of?
I do enjoy getting haircuts. Like the shorter it is, I find the more thrilling. But I leave it surprisingly. I leave it mostly to the hairdresser. Like he doesn't tell me what color. He tells me it's like, oh, okay, maybe it's purple today,
It's
but
like,
I'm not
surprise!
gonna know if it's lavender or
okay.
violet or whatever.
So what happens if you don't like it?
Then I live with it lah. It fades so quickly. I
Yeah.
can get to change it anyways. Like if you don't try, you don't know.
That's a good
Right.
mindset, though.
Right.
Okay, before we go for pee break, because I can see in his eyes he
No,
needs to pee.
I'm fine.
I want to
We're
ask you, if
Mm.
you have a chance to work with an animal, what would it be?
good. Unicorn.
No.
That'll be my answer.
You really you. I'm gonna ask you also. So you think of what?
Unicorn or a dragon?
Unicorn don't exist. Unicorn
Don't
is a
tell him
rhino.
that.
It's a rhino.
You are a rhino. Shut up.
A wolf.
A wolf.
A wolf?
Wow.
I wanted to work like my dream is to own a wolf sanctuary.
Is that your spirit animal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can tell, right? No, I guess so. Yeah.
And they say wolves may not be the strongest, but they don't perform in circus.
What? Wait.
Correct, what? Like
what?
lions, you say lions, tigers so strong, but they don't
Oh.
perform in
Oh,
circus.
that's true. Yeah.
They do perform in circus.
They
Wolves,
do, but wolves not so much.
they don't perform in circus.
But you can't get one wolf. You gotta get a wolf
No,
pack.
but you see, they do live in packs, but they
Yeah.
can be like solitary. I
Mhm.
like that aspect. Like you gotta have that kind of independence.
Yeah.
That kind of.
So you're promoting yourself here, huh, Miss Wolf?
So you, what animal you wanna?
Unicorn or a dragon? How many times must I answer
Dragons.
this? Well, if
Dragon's quite cool.
I don't think I will ever work with animals because I can't work with people who don't talk back. Like sometimes I will just talk to Snowy and then I get frustrated talking to him because he does not give a
That's
hoot
response.
at all. Like he'll just come to me and he'll look at me and I'll start talking to him and he just walks away.
He's like, what is this
Such
guy doing? And then he
disrespect.
just walks.
Yeah, but okay. But if I was really to choose, I want to work with a lion.
Ooh.
I think I've always been fascinated with animals because of the late great Steve Irwin.
Oh
So
yes.
when I was growing up, we had cable at home, and that's
Mm.
all I watch. Crocodile Hunter and all that. But I think still the lion still amazes me until now. Except for those skinny ones at the Singapore Zoo.
Really?
Oh no.
Yeah, they're so skinny, dude. It doesn't
Look
even
at
look
that.
fierce. Like Snowy looks more intimidating than the lion there.
I think they just tired.
What about you?
I would
Other than
go.
apes.
I don't work with your kind.
Sure.
Crocodiles.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're a
Oh.
buaya.
crocodile. Yeah, I think
Oh.
crocodiles are quite scary, so it's quite exciting to
But
be
you know
working.
the kinds like if you just they
So you put a rubber band.
yeah, then they cannot open.
You know about it?
What?
If you tie is it crocodiles? What's it called?
Alligators as
The
well,
mouth,
yeah.
Okay.
The mouth you tie with just a normal rubber band, you won't be able to open the mouth because
Yeah.
it's not that
Can
strong.
do that to your mouth too.
That's
Yeah,
why
but I think
they
I've
always,
seen that
because
on,
they're always hunting like this, right?
Yeah,
they
their
get pop.
snap is
I've
very
seen
good.
that on Crocodile Hunter. Maybe.
Yeah, that's why they just like
I think they put cloth over their heads and then
Yeah,
they start to.
yeah.
that's
but talking,
showbiz,
yeah.
man.
But talking about animals before we go for a pee break, have you watched the show We Bought a Zoo? I mean the movie We Bought a Zoo.
We what?
We
no.
Bought a Zoo.
No.
It's a good movie, so go watch
Should
it.
I? Okay.
Well, we're not going for a pee break. Let's just soldier on.
Okay, I'm gonna go for a pee now. But
Now I'm just gonna continue talking.
okay,
to
go
her.
go go.
So I mean, this is awkward.
Yeah. He's
But
gone now.
Let's talk about the fact that we are in a boxing gym talking about pets
Yes, with people boxing in the
and
background.
people boxing. Yeah. By the way, if you guys want to know what those loud explosing sounds are, it's people working on the pets. And you also box.
a little bit.
So on top of being a
little
vet,
bit.
you are also a boxer. How do you find boxing?
I really like it. Well, not really surprisingly, but it's very good de-stressor actually, especially on the heavy bags or if they're doing pad work with you. It's very good de-stressing.
So when did you first start?
After Chinese New Year this year, so I think about February-ish. Yeah, I started with my came here with my friend, and then that's when we started. Then initially I was just doing like a weekly lesson kind of thing, and I was like,
Mm.
okay lah, let's just sign on, and then just tried to come more often.
So why what makes you want to come here in the first place at Legends?
To be very honest, my friend was the one who did all the research. Yeah, and I was like, okay, go wherever, just like let's just try. Then we did a trial class, and I really like the style that they do here. So I was actually in Boston recently, and then I went
Mm.
for boxing classes there, and their style is very different. So they did like they don't do, at least for the gym I went to, they didn't even do like heavy bags. So it's mostly just partner work where you take turns holding the pads and box lah. And they did so much skipping.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I think to me, partner work is the one that I shy away
Oh.
from most, because it's like some of the people that you get partner with have so
yes.
much more experience,
Yes.
and they hit kind of hard, and I don't like it when they hit hard because we're
That's
not
for me to
sparring.
practice.
Yeah,
not me,
exactly.
but, oi. Oh, that even gets me. But
Get back down to yours. See, we're talking about boxing,
was that what you just used? No.
Yeah.
which by the way he doesn't know anything about
What?
boxing. What, from your last match, from your last fight, I could tell.
Are we still on that?
That's the only thing
So
he
the
has.
until-
only all the 10
until he
episodes is gonna
wins
get that.
again,
That's the only thing he has.
Until
for
he
me.
wins again, we're gonna keep on talking about how he lost, so that it burns that fire in
Yeah, okay,
him.
what is it about boxing you were talking about?
No, she was just saying that she enjoys boxing and it helps her to distress, especially when you got tough clients, right?
Oh yes, or like tough clients, tough time, or you
Ev-
forget something at work and you get hounded about it, and then you're like, oh man, I did something wrong. And you just come here and hit it up.
Do you think you'll compete one day in the ring?
I scared to lose, so I don't think it's the fear of losing. No.
Sometimes I wish Ridhwan had that fear.
Oh dear, I feel like
Jackass.
Because he went on to lose.
and you're still
And
laughing.
he's been telling
You're
everybody
so
he did it on purpose.
Oh no.
Nobody does it on purpose, bro. See, people like
I'm
her.
that good, so I did it on purpose.
Yeah, he can.
So what's I mean, other than boxing and being a vet nurse, what else do you do?
I have so many. I drum.
You play
Ooh.
drums?
Not very good. My teacher, if he's gonna watch this, he's gonna be like, "This girl, please don't don't bring me down." So, yeah, I do drum on occasion, learning. I like. I'm just like your regular girl. I like
You-
to read, like to.
His version of regular girl is very different.
Yeah, this is very different. You like to hit things. I don't think that's a regular girl. I don't like to get hit.
Nobody's hitting you.
Well, you can hit. Well, you've proven that you can hit a bag and you can hit the drum. So you probably could hit a boyfriend also. So, yeah, this is not very regular to me. I like the docile kind.
Oh,
the
okay.
one that sits in the corner.
Sit in the corner, makes you sandwiches.
Cat kind.
No, I can make my own sandwich. I'm not a bigot. I'll make my own sandwich.
Oh my
But yeah,
goodness.
I think we really appreciate you coming here and talking to us
I
about
mean,
this.
it's great.
And I just just to wrap things up, what would be, well, I'm gonna ask you one and he's gonna ask you one. What would be the best advice you would give anybody out there who wants to have a pet?
Wants to have a pet.
Yeah.
Do your research. Always do your research. Don't get a pet just because the pet looks cute. Just don't get it because your kid wants it. Don't get it just because everybody on Instagram has a photo with it. Get it because you really want to know what you're getting into, how to take care of it, what to do when it gets sick. At least search out your options and just be prepared when you get one, because like, if you don't know how to clear poop, if you don't know what to do when, what to feed it or where to keep it, and that could just be trouble for your pet.
Yeah, and I also don't think it's a good idea to get someone a pet as a birthday present.
Yeah, no.
That happens a lot, right? I
That
think.
happens a lot. And then every spring cleaning, Chinese New Year, then you get like random abandoned animals everywhere.
Hang on, I thought spring cleaning is supposed to keep the dust in.
No, you're supposed to clear out all
Yes.
the unwanted stuff. So.
That's what normal humans do. Ape.
Oh yeah, okay, I get it wrong then. I'm sorry, I'm not really educated in this.
Spring cleaning, not spring keeping.
I really thought they sweep the dust in. No?
No, like I think for the first day or something, you're not supposed to sweep, but before that, you're supposed to clean everything. Before,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. What's the last thing you wanna ask?
What can we humans learn from animals?
What can we learn from animals?
Well, I learned a lot from you,
What
huh?
can we not learn from animals? I think one thing I really respect animals for is that their ability to just want to survive. A lot of times you hardly see an animal that wants to give up. Like, even though it's sick, it cannot walk, it's what you can see it just struggling just to stay alive. So I think you gotta be strong, you gotta be independent, you gotta learn how to sometimes, You know, like you get a little cut, and then the human's like whining and crying and like, oh, pain.
Yeah, I even forgot your name. Shit.
Iman,
Yeah.
dipshit,
Stop whining.
stupid ape.
Stop whining. But
Oh my goodness.
I think
but
that's
yeah.
I think that's something really meaningful that you brought up.
yeah,
Because-
it's deep though.
Yeah, it's deep
You
because
said that's what we're here for.
yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I guess everybody can apply it to their own life. I mean, like, even for yourself, I would reckon that when there is a sudden passing of an animal, but at the end of the day, you still need you go home, you wash it off, and then you
You
still
get
have
back to
to
work.
get back to work, right? And I really wish Ridhwan listens to this because when you're down in the 10th round, you still gotta fight like an animal, my friend. Not want to take a knee for it, like you did in your last fight.
I didn't take a knee.
Well, you told me you wanted to take a knee.
I wanted, but I didn't.
Yeah, but
There's a
you
difference.
wanted
There's
to.
a
You gotta be a dog.
There's a
You
difference.
gotta be a dog. Okay? You gotta struggle to walk. Be a dog. Don't let the dog be you. You be the dog. You ape.
Greatest takeaway. Yes.
Yep.
All right, thank you
Alright,
so
thank
much
you
for
very
being the
much.
first female guest on the One Man Show. One Man Show, actually. And remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're gonna put Dawn's Instagram. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
And we'll also put a link for the clinic. Does the clinic have an Instagram?
Yes, I think so.
Brilliant. Well, we'll link everyone up with everything else. Don't forget to download our podcast on Castbox.
Castbox. You gotta download the Castbox app. Some of you are saying that the podcast is too long, but I suggest you download it. Then you can listen to us complain, talk during your morning runs.
Yeah, on your
Or when
treadmill.
you're at
Yeah.
the vet.
When you're waiting for your turn.
All right, we're done. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Boom!